Part 113. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 1131. Chapter 1131 The Beginning of an Era. Wei Suo looked at Myriad Phoenix's young master at a glance, and Tathagata Divine Glow suddenly got excited. Eastern Tathagata at that time, Divine Mystic Great Treasure had more energy than today's cultivation world, and many of Divine Mystic Great Treasure's divine ability are far from the Great Treasure, but Eastern Tathagata is still invincible in that era. Because of this Tathagata Divine Glow. Great Treasure by Shapeshift Great Art is just a moment of Shapeshift Great Art. The Shapeshift Great Art, the protective energy of the Shapeshift Great Art field can also block, but this Tathagata Divine Glow is directly at the level of consciousness, unless there is a unique guardian Shapeshift Great Art and Shapeshift Great Art, otherwise it is hard to resist. Wei Suo dared to be Bright Treasure, and it was because Divine Consciousness Great Treasure increased this Tathagata Divine Glow. He did not come to die, but to kill. By Wei Suo Tathagata Divine Glow, Myriad Phoenix's young master was also a surging sound, and the screams turned into a heartbreaking scream, and the divine light was completely scattered. Pu. Like the killing of the culling purple thunder sect master, the Wei Suo is almost uninhabited, the cyan divine light flashes, the blood light collapses, and the head of the Myriad Phoenix's young master flies. This is a great style. All the cultivators have been completely speechless. The 7 divine mystic great treasures can work hard with Wei Suo. Instead, they are instantly smashed by 2 heads. Wei Suo is really too great treasure, and it has been far away from all generations. Divine mystic great treasure can N. Wei Suo, together with Myriad Phoenix's young master's head, is a sharp bounce. The head of Myriad Phoenix's young master flew out, but it didn't die. There was a bloody phoenix divine light in his eyebrows, a bloody red divine mark, connected to his head and naked body. What is clearly? The Shapeshift Great Art or Secret Place is a quick fix to the body of Myriad Phoenix's young master. At the same time, a clear trajectory appeared in his mind. There was nothing flustered. He moved the void walking step Shapeshift Great Art and stepped out. A golden light was only a few dozen feet, and he was not able to hit him. At this time, Wang Wei, Avasai Divine Lord and Sushenxiu on one side were killed. This golden light is Wang Wei, and Sushenxiu's evil king jewel crown is the head of the Avasai Divine Lord. Just as Wei Suo avoided Wang Wei's blow, Wei Suo and Avasai Divine Lord looked at each other and, at the same time, moved divine consciousness to kill. Shua. 2 invisible powerful energy, while stifling into the other's divine consciousness. I even tried even more powerful than my own Tathagata Divine Glow. You don't even have the Shapeshift Great Art in my Tathagata Divine Glow. With this evil King Jewel Crown, there is no secret place. Wei Suo was attacked by evil King Jewel Crown, and there was a sharp pain in her mind. It was deep in the bone, but it was forcibly held back, once again hitting Avasai God King Tathagata Divine Glow, while Void Walking Step Shapeshift Great Art stepped out in the next step. At this moment, the Avasai Divine Lord is already a scream of a surging sound, twitching. Wang Wei, Avasai Divine Lord, this batch of great treasures can be a master of the party, and in the desperate lust situation, what inherits the Shapeshift Great Art is not awkward, all used out, even if it is facing Wei Suo, there may be no chance. Like Wu Wei and Avasai Divine Lord and Sushenxiu, the 3 people approached Wei Suo at the same time. But like their level of great treasure can fight Shapeshift Great Art, the outcome is also in the first line. At this moment, Wei Suo was hard to withstand the pain of being attacked by evil King Jewel Crown, but the Avasai Divine Lord was hit by his Tathagata Divine Glow. In this way, the opportunity to equate to disappear has disappeared, and Wei Suo once again completely controls the rhythm of the entire Great Treasure War. After 2 consecutive hits by Wei Suo Tathagata Divine Glow, Avasai Divine Lord was unable to control the true Yuan, and the divine light was completely scattered and lost battle strength. Hong. At the same time, when Wei Suo stepped out and pulled away from Wang Wei and others, a round of lightning waning moon was stirred up by the horse and suppressed by Myriad Phoenix's young master. Ah! Many of the cultivators that watched the battle were all jumped, feeling that this shot seemed to fall on their own body. Myriad Phoenix's young master's entire naked body, all made fly ash. The scene is very funny. Myriad Phoenix's young master's head itself is still trying to connect with the naked body, but now the naked body is beaten, it's gone. Myriad Phoenix's young master's eyes are screaming, and it's speechless. But this kind of almost funny lust scene is to make a person laugh. The next scene is almost funny, but it also makes people laugh. Wang Wei, this moment is also the evil king jewel crown that reaches for the head of the Avicii divine lord. On the other side, Xuanhuan has been slightly restored, but it is just one hand to catch the evil king jewel crown. Both of them wanted to use the evil king jewel crown to deal with Wei Suo, but they didn't discuss it well. The two men pulled it apart. For a moment, like a tug of war, they couldn't get it in their hands and stalemate in the head of Avicii divine lord. The two men were anxious and angry, and the blue veins on their foreheads all burst out. Chi! Wei Suo didn't have any stops, eyes flash. Myriad Phoenix's young master's head was directly sealed by him. At the same time, it was the sky-covering demon subduing Pestle and the void-walking step shape-shift great art, which chased the past towards the tourmaline sect master. This powerful energy in the Myriad Phoenix's young master naked body is very strange. Although the naked body has been completely smashed into fly ash, there is only one head left, but it seems that it will not die at all. Under the dispute between Wang Wei and Xuanhuan, Xuanhuan finally released his hand and let Wang Wei put the evil king jewel crown in the head. However, three people snatched, and Wu Wei finally wore this hat. Wei Suo was already 1,400 miles away from him and Xuanhuan and Avicii divine lord, which made Wang Wei useless. Among them, the flames are spurted out. Wei Suo step by step towards the tourmaline sect master. The psychology of tourmaline sect master suddenly collapsed completely. It was suddenly in the void, and the air was slammed again and again. Wei divine lord, I will never dare to be against you. Tourmaline sect master is a sect master of sect, a rogue cultivator like Wei Suo, like the entire sect kneeling down to Wei Suo, which is hard to imagine. I have set a 3-day deadline and gave you a chance. If everyone and I are enemies, and finally serve softly, then I will let go. Isn't everyone thinking that I am bullying? Can you deal with me first? However, Wei Suo has made up his mind when he came. This group of great treasures can use so many people to force him out. It is too sinister. He has decided not to keep his hands and stand up. A surging sound between sneer. Wei Suo did not leave lust. Tathagata divine glow slammed towards the tourmaline sect master. Ah! Tourmaline sect master suddenly screamed and screamed. Shua! A twilight word was made from the front of Wei Suo's, hitting the body of tourmaline sect master, and the tourmaline sect master was smashed out. Wei Suo, this is a powerful energy that is full of life and death. He sees that the tourmaline sect master is instantly suppressed by his own Tathagata divine glow, but there is still battle strength. Divine light does not dissipate. This shot can be used to turn tourmaline sect master. It is heavy, but it does not kill the tourmaline sect master directly. These divine mystic great treasures are the strongest in the shapeshift great art field of the Great Treasure Road. For him, they can contribute some divine marks. If they can produce oysters, he will naturally have to grow first. Seeing that Wei Suo didn't spare the begging for the tourmaline sect master, it hit the fly and all the cultivators around Huangti and Ken were chilling. But everyone thinks that Wei Suo's words at the moment are justified. If Wei Suo is to take it, then everyone thinks that Wei Suo is kind and soft. You can deal with Wei Suo first, and the great treasure can't beat it. This battle has been until now, Everyone knows that the dust has settled, and the party of the great Divine Lord is completely defeated. When Wei Suo hit the Tourmaline sect master and flew it out, the heavenly fire Divine Lord, who hadn't even gotten into it, was completely ruined and was already desperately trying to escape. Ah! Wang Wei had a roar of the wounded beast, a golden divine mark and a golden blood spurting out of his body. Divine mark shapeshift great art, the three consecutive glory of the golden light, came out of him and wanted to intercept Wei Suo so that he could chase Wei Suo and make the final fight. But Wei Suo is just coldly laughing, constantly moving sky covering demon subduing pestle and void walking step shapeshift great art, constantly chasing towards heavenly fire Divine Lord. For this Wu Wei divine mark shapeshift great art, Wei Suo just looked at it. This is a stunning and indescribable sight. Wei Suo at first glance, there was a divine mark shapeshift great art that completely collapsed and turned into countless golden streamers. After seeing three eyes, Wang Wei's three golden gods divine mark shapeshift great art were all broken. Wang Wei's divine mark shapeshift great art is also a secret place. Divine sense, relying on the power of the great treasure shapeshift great art field, but his divine mark shapeshift great art is no more than the world. Divine consciousness is not as strong as the treasure of heaven and earth, just a divine sense, cannot withstand the killing of Wei Suo's Tathagata divine glow. Tathagata divine glow. This is Tathagata divine glow. The Tathagata divine glow of the Eastern Tathagata was born. Dear God, in addition to the void walking step shapeshift great art, he also got the Eastern Shathagata's strong shapeshift great art, Tathagata divine glow. Until then, some cultivators around Huangtian can guess the shapeshift great art used by Wei Suo, and had an incredible surging sound. Ah! Heavenly Fire Divine Lord also had a desperate great treasure called surging sound. A surging sound of boom, his entire body naked body all ignited, and then 100 fire people emerged, to fly in all directions. It's not that easy to go. But at this time, Wei Suo a surging sounds near, great treasure by the shapeshift great art sound of powerful energy suppression in the body of these 100 fire people, pressing these 100 fire people at the same time. Immediately, the Dengpi shapeshift great art field evolved in the air, as if one side of the world was depressed, all the 100 firemen screamed and turned into a broken flame, which turned into a fluffy fly ash. Wei Suo's purpose is very clear. The great treasure that can produce oysters can be all oysters, without the great treasure of shapeshift great art oysters, completely kill. Another great treasure can be killed. Around the imperial city, countless cultivators are completely ruined. 10 great treasures cannot be joined by Wei Suo's rival, Tathagata divine glow is born. This will definitely be the beginning of an era, recorded in the classics. I am accompanying my daughter today, and I am going to play football tonight, so I have only 2 more, and the next one is more likely to be around 5 p.m. Then there was a message asking for leave, saying that the Great Treasure family said that I had to ask for leave just after the holiday. The next Tuesday, that is, the 21st, is going to attend the annual meeting of the association, so the 21st update is estimated. Look at the great attitude that even the sincere attitude can understand. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 1132. Lord Snowhawk. Dragon Legend. Super Soldier. Cultivation of Rain and Clouds. Budo Supreme. King Yanjai. My neighbor is a banshee. Xian Mu Legend. Like a corpse, sitting motionless on the floor, I don't know how long it passed. The sound of sizzling seemed to wake up from the endless nightmare. Wei Suo's body shuddered and opened. Eyes. Ticka ticka. After opening his eyes, Wei Suo immediately stood up from the ground, and his bones seemed to be reformed and made a noise. His luck is not bad. During this period, no one has been able to track up. Otherwise, during this time, the damage of the consciousness has reached the limit. When healed, he really has no strength to fight back. Just come to anyone. People are enough to kill him. But when he stood up and stood in the dark cave, Wei Suo's heart was instantly filled with cold misery. His mental damage has now been restored, but he obviously feels that his own mental consciousness is like leaving some dark diseases. If he fights violently for a while, he cannot get some high-level nourishing consciousness. The elixir, these dark diseases that can't be completely recovered by his current spells, will completely damage the spirit, making his consciousness irreparable damage. And there was no one around him now. Even this healing time, he didn't even know how much time he spent. But after taking a deep breath, his body was instantly filled with the extremely cold atmosphere of the Black Mother and the Goddess. Although those mighty powers have not been tracked up yet, the spells he used to escape when he fled before will definitely leave some breath, and here is not far from the Sky Dome. He must leave immediately, otherwise with those mighty abilities, I am afraid even find him immediately, and the power is enough to cover such an area, making him completely a fish in the net. He took a deep breath and calmed his mind. When he was about to leave, Wei Suo first glanced at his body, and then took off the bronze vest. This bronze-colored vest from the ancestor of the Eastern Wasteland is close to the immortal order, and the defense power and the indestructible clean bottle have been separated. 3 large holes were forcibly torn out, and the bird-like runes on it had no more light. After taking off this bronze-colored vest, Wei Suo turned it over and looked at it again, and then there was a trace of disappointment in his eyes. The ancestor of Donghuang, Donggrule, is probably a trap that the Huangzu Senyuan will bury all the time. In the end, Donggrule dug out the trap himself, jumped in, and found the truth. Followed in the Dacianatian cave mansion. But no matter what, this once invincible patriarch of the eastern wilderness received 2 supreme inheritances, one was the Dongxiu footwork, and the other was Rulemang. As the magical power came, Wei Suo had already personally experienced it, and even the ancient emperor's corpse could not resist the attack of the 4-armed aristocratic power. If he had this technique in his hand, even if he faced the Black Bodhi Heavenly Mother, he would have enough power to fight. This vestment can be said to be the only relic from Donggrue. The grade is very extraordinary. Wei Suo's current situation is almost equivalent to a person in a big river, about to drown, barely grabbed a driftwood. Okay, it is easy to take a breath. Under such circumstances, of course, he has some fluke or hope psychology that he does not usually have, thinking that if Donggrule left this strong law in this vestment, it would be nice. But at the moment, except for the 3 big holes that were opened, there is no trace on this ancient vestment that he has looked at, and it is covered with the tattoos of the gods and birds. Of course, there is no record of such a god. After a hint of disappointment flashed in his eyes, Wei Suo was ready to throw this cassock in a cave. After all, he didn't even know how much time had passed, and he couldn't be sure how far away the opponent was. Even a trace of the real element, the opening of the Nabeo bracelet and the Nabeo ancient ring will be immediately felt. But just in this shaking hands, ready to abandon this completely destroyed vestment, and first escaped by pure physical strength, Wei Suo's eyes flashed violently, but instead this vestment I caught myself in front of me again. Because at this moment, on this vest, he saw a strange texture, which was very different from the texture of the godbird rune on the vest. At this moment, Wei Suo's breath stopped completely. Only he deliberately suppressed the whole cave, and his heartbeat was extremely slight. He was right, this strange texture was a slight slash in the back of this vest. This slash, as if there were any unique pigments, reflected in real elements like a symbol, but because of the long age, I don't know what pigments or other materials have been completely exfoliated and added to be Wei Suo's water spirit has been washed away, and there are no traces. Only now this part of the vestment is soaked with Wei Suo's blood and immersed in it, only some faint traces appear. Without any hesitation, Wei Suo stretched out a hand, and cut a stiff cut in his hand again, immersing his blood very slowly into this light trace around the place. Soon, the entire back of this vest was soaked with Wessel's blood. Wei Suo's heartbeat seemed to stop completely. As more and more faint traces appeared, the pattern of a mountain range appeared. In addition to the pattern of this mountain range, 4 hazy handwritings also appeared. Mingyang Glacier. Wei Suo's eyes shone strangely in the darkness, and he could see these 4 characters very clearly. The Mingyang Glacier, these 4 words, is a place name, and he has heard of it. It is in an ice field located 50,000 miles south of the Great Han Palace in the Silent Continent. This is a little produced frozen icebergs, and because of the extremely long age, the wind and sand have fallen into the ice and snow, even the layers of ice are black and gray, and the black ice is not pure, so few monks in the Silent Continent will get there. Now the pattern of the mountain range that appears, plus this handwriting, gives the first impression that this mountain range should be a map about this glacier. And the clearest thing now is that there is a deep thin spot on the pattern of this mountain, which seems to have increased its strength and is clearer than any pattern. This fine spot is in the middle of a mountain peak in this mountain range, and it seems that this place was specifically marked. Is this before Dongrule's fall, deliberately staying, there is something left in that place, unstoppable at this moment? Wei Suo's mind was completely filled with this idea. After taking a deep breath, Wei Suo's mood calmed down again. He knew that he had to make a decision. If he could get such a brilliance, he would be able to counterattack the head of the Black Bodhi Mother. As long as he was not surrounded by 5 or 6 powerful people, he didn't have to fear anyone like the Black Bodhi Mother. However, these 4 characters and this extremely simple map may not be as impressive as possible, and may not even contain anything. Perhaps it just means something else, and there is nothing left of Dongrula at all. Moreover, the era of Dongrula has passed thousands of years now. No one knows whether there is any change in the topography at that time compared with the present. If it is other treasures or something left by him, so many years, even it may also be taken away by others, and now there is no leftover at all. The most important thing is that the Mingyang Glacier is located in the wilderness in the Sky Dome in the southern part of the Silent Continent, but he is now located outside the Sky Dome wilderness in the northwest. He has to rush to that place. I don't know how much distance to cross, but also to penetrate into the Sky Dome and walk in the Silent Continent. Turning back to the Silent Continent, this is extremely dangerous. In the current situation, I am afraid that no matter whether it is the Silent Continent or the Liuhuo Continent, these borders of the Sky Dome have already drawn a large net. In order to kill him, these sects, even emperors such as the Dazushan chemical bottles that needed to wear a real star core, were born. Now that he has escaped, I am afraid I don't even know how much manpower was used. Is it fleeing deeper into the wilderness, or is it returning to the still cold continent? It was just between the blinking of his eyes that Wei Suo had already made a decision, took a deep breath, and grabbed directly at the broken vest, leaping out of the cave deep into the mountain. Now he is also a complete trapped beast, and he has been pushed to the extreme, and even the Dacianation cave has been explored, and the old man in the green robe is not around. There is no other opportunity at all, only to mark it on this Dongrula vestment. The place has been spelled. Snapped. Wei Suo jumped all the way, constantly relying on flesh power to fly longitudinally, and soon came out of the mountain and disappeared into this barren ancient forest. Swoosh! And less than 2 hours after Wei Suo left here, a sky blue huaguang has swept away. Among the sky blue huaguang, it is the sovereign Saint King and the young man in Huai who has been inherited by the Aborigines. At the moment, beside the sect master of the Holy King, there was a magic mirror suspended with a piece of red jade. As soon as this piece of red jade mirror was close to where Wei Suo jumped out, a layer of blazing yellow light immediately appeared, dissipating heat, as if there was a huge blood rising above it. This red mirror, which looks smooth and has no runes, looks like a peculiar magic weapon that can trace the monk's blood and breath. He should be here soon. Just as soon as he saw such a yellow light, the eyes of the Holy King Sect Master squinted, and a cold light was emitted. Then he reached out a little, and a bright blue flame shot into the sky, forming a bright thin line in the sky. There was no dissipation at all. Immediately after releasing this blaze of flames, the sovereign and the young man in Chinese clothes chased Wei Wuxiao to escape. If any chapter content is not displayed, please visit to read. Tip: you can search for 0.academy00sy or 00sy in Baidu to visit this site. The site address is. To facilitate reading this book next time, you can click Add Bookmark below to record this reading record, and you can directly read this chapter next time you open the bookshelf. Please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Remember that the more updates you share, the faster. Mobile phone users, please visit. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 1133. Chapter 1133, Delineating the Cultivation World Order. Wei Suo, you killed me. You can't think of anything from my mouth and get any good secret place. Wei Suo grabbed Wang Wuyi and Su Shengxiu into the hands, and both Wu Wuyi and Su Shengxiu tried their best and made a loud roar. If they are fatally wounded in peacetime, two people may at least be able to kill themselves, but the two are not only cut off by Wei Suo heart arteries, but the two divine consciousness is also heavily invaded by Wei Suo Tathagata divine glow. Divine consciousness is scattered, and even controlled True Yuan can't. It's just the fish of the Wei Suo blade. Wei Suo didn't talk nonsense with the two, and reached out directly. The two people were connected to the restrictions, so that they couldn't even surging sound, and they took out the blood essence stone and dripped two medicines. Liquid, to ensure that these two people do not die. He has the divine light of achievement and virtue sect, and he has to know something when he is there. He is not afraid of Su Shengxiu and Wang Wuyi. As long as there is time, not only Su Shengxiu and Wang Wuyi, Tourmaline sect master, but Myriad Phoenix's young master can recover. He is ready to use Purdue divine light. After holding Wu Wuyi and Su Shengxiu, Wei Suo stood in the void and gave a surging sound to the cultivator around Huangtianken. All the sects I talked to, come to this secret place to see me. Wei Suo didn't say the time limit of the naked body at all, but all the cultivators who heard this surging sound were extremely clear, and a new era has begun. In the records of the classics, since the disappearance of the Eastern Tathagata soul Jing sound, there are many great treasures in the cultivation world. There is no such thing as the power of one person to exhaust all the remaining precious treasures, but now this existence has reappeared. All those sects who talked with Wei Suo might have the slightest scorn. Wei Suo didn't say the time of the naked body, but all the sects will surely come to the secret place with the fastest speed. See Wei Suo. He wants to stay at the Heavenly Emperor Dao Hill Gate for the time being. He is calling all the sects who are in peace with him. What are you going to do? For a time, surrounded by Huangtianken, there were people flying around, countless flames rising from the sky, news spread in all directions, cloud spirit continent vibration, heavenly profound continent vibration, lonely cold continent vibration, Alioth continent, fire stream great treasure 6 vibration. The world is shocked. But Wei Suo didn't stop. After such a surging sound, he turned and walked toward Heavenly Emperor Dao. Along the way, the restrictions in the door of Heavenly Emperor Dao were smashed by him. All the warehouses were opened, and everything inside was collected by him. Saint King Sect Master seeking Wei Divine Lord. Dan Yuanzong Sect Master sees Wei Divine Lord. The divine mystic atmosphere of the two groups of Pangretic treasures soon appeared. The Saint King Sect Master and the Divine Lord apparently did not leave the Cloud Spirit continent. Just away from the Heavenly Emperor Dao Gate, secret place waited for the result of this battle, so the first one is coming at the moment. Although all the Wei and Wei Suo came, the two have been almost numbed by Wei Suo's divine ability, but Wei Suo has suffered little damage in this battle, and 10 divine mystic great treasures can be defeated. The face is still full of horror and unbelievable look. You two first help me to hold that position. Zantai Linglan's void golden gourd can make him fall into the void, but he can't walk through the void, he is still there. Wei Suo has now entered the secret place of the Heavenly Emperor Dao at the secret placement of Depository secret place. Instead of showing up, there is only my heart sword that hits the void place of Zantai Linglan's void golden gourd, which is Saint King section. The sect master and the divine lord specify the orientation. AIDS_crew_ first name _Commonwealth _26 IDS_crew_ first name _Commonwealth _26. Although Zantai Linglan is hidden in the void, with the unique powerful energy of void golden gourd, he knows the outside world clearly. When he sees the position of Saint King sect master and divine lord, he holds his position. Suddenly anxious and scared, even the great treasure called, but there is nothing to do. Shapeshift great art. Guang shapeshift great art. Tiangong sees Wei divine lord. Achievement and virtue sec see Wei divine lord. Immortal ascension sec see Wei divine lord. Shortly after the Saint King sect master and the divine lord appeared, an amazing escape light rushed, sects came on, and all the sects that came here were almost section. The master is too elder. Jin Zong seeks to see Wei divine lord. The glass palace asks for the Wei divine lord. Day burning with the desire to see the Wei divine lord. Just half an hour later, there are 560 sects gathered in front of the Heavenly Emperor Dao, which are respectfully waiting outside the broken Heavenly Emperor Dao. There are even many of these sections. There is no enemy with Wei Suo, and there is no sect to talk to Wei Suo. At this time, Wei Suo from the Heavenly Emperor Dao of the gate of the entrance out of the void, the opening out of the surging sound tone, who has to deal with void golden gourd means, can Zantai Linglan from virtual in the air, or even if not forced out, can also be in the secret place. Cloth restrictions, he came out, will at least be able to hit, or track. I will also give him the price of satisfaction. Zantai Linglan is going crazy in the void. He and all the cultivators are listening to Wei Suo's. Even if Wei Suo can't kill him now, he has to live here. Help me to carefully investigate the whereabouts of this demon. When there is news, the horse spreads out. This is a domain of outer heavens demon, which can engulf the cultivator golden core cultivation, which is a great treasure to the entire cultivation world. It is our common enemy. Wei Suo came out with a surging sound, and True Yuan condensed, resulting in a four-armed desolate race great treasure with a naked body image, a great treasure hat buckled in the four-armed desolate race great treasure head. Anyway, besides him and Ling Longtian, I am afraid no one can make the difference between the desolate race and the domain outer heavens demon. It is the domain outer heavens demon. It can cause a lot of sect panic, so that all sects are worried about being destroyed. Disaster, trace the whereabouts of this four-armed desolate race great treasure. What, domain outer heavens demon? Is there really a domain outer heavens demon coming? Dear God, every time the domain outer heavens demon comes, it's not all the wind and rain. Sure enough, Wei Suo said that all cultivators were in turmoil and caused panic. Who can have the shapeshift great art that can break this great heavens nature bottle? I will definitely give him the price. He is satisfied. At the moment, there are still sects coming to see Wei Suo, and Wei Suo has nothing to stop, and the surging sound is again. Who can give True Sun immortal grass and something like True Sun immortal grass that can keep you from dying? Wei Suo didn't stop, and he took out the treatment of Yin Liwa and the help of green-robed old man's coagulation, and let these come to see their own sect to help acquire water attribute monster core. Heavenly Emperor Dao is even stronger than Heaven Transformation Cult. Wei Suo got a lot of spiritual stones from the warehouse, which was used to acquire water attribute monster core and water attribute spiritual herb. Thanks to the help, the great treasure family has a good secret place, and the cooperation can be enjoyable. This is the reason that Wei Suo of Little Swindler origin of Spirit Peak City has long understood. For these sects with their own peace, Wei Suo does not want to take advantage of it, but instead give a good secret place. Daoist Wei, I am coming. If it weren't for your battle, we still don't know when to hide. A group of peak great treasure divine mystic breath suddenly came, but Ji Yin God Lord and a group of little extreme circle people rushed to Heavenly Emperor Dao. Even your little extreme circle gate has been destroyed, Wei Suo personally greeted him. If he had no support from primordial Yin old ancestor, Ji Yin God Lord and little extreme circle, he would not have been able to insist on this time. Underworld sect sees Wei Divine Lord. Myriad Phoenix's palace sees Wei Divine Lord. Tourmaline sect sees Wei Divine Lord. With the appearance of many long-distance sects, people from sects such as Underworld sect have reappeared. Many of them are old antiques that escaped in this battle, and reappeared at the moment. They are all admired, pleading for Wei Suo to open the side and let them go. I have given you the opportunity to read what you have been forced by sect master. I can spare you a life, but the death penalty is inevitable. For these sects, Wei Suo is not very polite. Ma asked Ji Yin God Lord to send the disc of little extreme circle. The people who follow these sects go to the gates of these sects, and all the things are sorted out and listed for him to choose. Each sect has a shapeshift great art that can withstand heavenly tribulation. It can also be intercourse with me. I will definitely give you the satisfaction of the great treasure next. Wei Suo said this again. Now Wei Suo looking for heavenly tribulation shapeshift great art device. It does not cause anyone's accident. After all, great treasure most divine mystic great treasure can go to 3/4 layer cultivation base, and when you feel the hope of breaking the true immortal, you will start to resist heavenly tribulation great art great treasure and shapeshift great art device, such as Wei Suo so far in the same time divine mystic great treasure, if not prepared to resist heavenly tribulation. The thing, but it makes people feel abnormal. No one even thought that Wei Suo might welcome heavenly tribulation when divine mystic 4th layer broke through to divine mystic 5th layer, not to wait until breaking through true immortal. Now Wei Suo, arguably full face of several great treasure 6 all sect, all the forces. Heaven's dome's life essence will be exhausted, not only heavenly profound continents heaven's dome, but all great treasure six's heaven's dome, which will soon collapse. After saying all of his needs, Wei Suo hesitated a little, and spoke again, and this time, the opening is the entire surviving sound of the great heaven treasure, all the people. The shock was even completely out of the battle of Wei Suo. What, all heaven's domes are about to collapse, all the people are in the heart, completely shocked, know what this sentence means. Wei Divine Lord, is this news true? Even some people have forgotten that this is a violation of Wei Suo's majesty and can't help but surging sound. This is the exact record I have seen, and it is true. All sect can be prepared, but all the intercourse is easy, must be equal intercourse easy. If there is a bully, forced intercourse easy, it is my enemy. Wei Suo once again surging sound, vibrating, making everyone tremble. He only hesitated to say the news, but after hesitating, he decided to say it. Because of preparation, at least the lives of many cultivators can be saved. Now, he has already had the power to define the order of the cultivation world. He is not afraid that the great sect will be plundered by the low-grade cultivator under this kind of lust shape. He is delineating the cultivation world order, deterring all great sect, so that everyone must follow the rules. Many people understand the meaning of Wei Suo's while thoroughly shocking. Almost all of the low-grade cultivators that I understand are grateful to Wei Suo. Knowing that Wei Suo is doing this is tantamount to saving their lives. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 1134. Chapter 1134 bombards the Emperor armament. I don't think Daoist Wei's divine ability is so. It was the divine mystic breath of the two groups of Pangretic treasures, but it was Feng Wukang's master, Jade Heaven Sect Master and Western Immortal Dwelling Sect Master Huang Daejun also arrived. The two Weisuo's old knowledge is also very emotional. I did not expect a descendant genius to grow to this extent. If there is no help from my predecessors, I can't support this time. Weisuo is very respectful of Jade Heaven Sect Master and Huang Daejun. These two great treasures can be said to be his battle-like primordial yin old ancestor and Ji Yin God Lord. Eastweed Secret Boundary See Way Divine Lord. Exaltation Sect Sees Way Divine Lord. Just after Jade Heaven Sect Master and Huang Daejun arrived, Weisuo and the two talked, and two groups of divine mystic came in successively, but they were dressed in white, the literati dressed up and the Qing dynasty. A middle-aged man wearing a purple-red robes and a bronzed body. The two divine mystic great treasures can come down, but like the rest of Weisuo's sect, stay ahead of the gates of Heavenly Emperor sect. The Heavenly Emperor sect is almost ruined at the moment. The mountain protecting restriction has been completely destroyed, but in addition to Ji Yin God Lord, Jade Heaven Sect Master and Huang Daejun, Weisuo's acquaintances dare to go directly to Heavenly Emperor Dao and Weisuo. The rest of the people did not dare to step past Heavenly Emperor Sect Hill without the lust that Weisuo summoned. Weisuo's battle, with one's own strength, great treasure, defeated 10 divine mystic great treasure, has been completely chilling. You are an elder of Chu. Weisuo first greeted the old man in white, letting the old man enter the Heavenly Emperor Dao gate without having to be polite. Before Weisuo had heard from Wu Shenhu, Eastweed Secret Boundary and a non-born old antique were divine mystic great treasure. Sitting on the Eastweed Secret Boundary, named Kiliu Yun, it must be the old man at the moment. It's the Chu Yun Yun. I have seen Wei Divine Lord. The old man dressed in white vestibule is estimated to have been missing for a long time. God is a little lust, and in the face of some Weisuo, he is obviously very and nervous. After hesitating, he asked, I have previously heard Wei Divine Lord and I East Weed Secret Boundary which sect master is Dao companion, don't know if it is true. Yes, I and the sect master have officially formed Dao companion, but now she is trapped in the great heavens nature bottle. I will definitely rescue her. Weisuo knows that the old man is openly asking this sentence at the moment, and it is the face of everyone, the name of Wu Shenhu. After all, the news came out when Weisuo escaped. Many people speculated that Wu Shenhu was only smashed by Weisuo. The news was only unilaterally sent in order to cope. Now Weisuo publicly said this on this occasion, and is also the name for Wu Shenhu. In this case, before the sect master was taken out of the way, my Eastweed Secret Boundary was naturally dedicated to the Wei Divine Lord. Here Weisuo so said. The old man's eyes showed a trace of gratitude, openly said the sentence, and then reached a point, a treasure receiving pocket point to Weisuo's, sound transmission to Weisuo's ear. We have previously received a summons from Sect Master to do all we can for Wei Divine Lord to collect water attributes monster core and can withstand heavenly tribulation shapeshift great art great treasure and shapeshift great art, which I hope Wei Divine Lord can use. Thank you for the elders of Chu. Since I formed Dao companion with her, I am also a member of your Eastweed Secret Boundary. Weisuo received the treasure receiving pocket, and after the sound transmission, he nodded to divine mystic great treasure from Exaltation sect. I don't know what you are calling. What do you think you have to say? Under the cloud, it is the elder of Exaltation section. I came to see Wei Divine Lord. I want to ask, is it true that my family sect has previously agreed with Wei Divine Lord? The divine mystic great treasure of Exaltation sect can be blinking, and it is obviously very tense. True. Weisuo nodded and looked at the divine mystic great treasure. This is true. Well, where is my sect now located? In secret place? The divine mystic great treasure was able to stagnate and ask for courage. Black Bodhi Tianmu had previously intercepted me with these great treasures. It was fight shift great art with me. After I lost it, I asked for an alliance. I promised her condition and formed an alliance with your Exaltation sect, but she has already suffered serious damage. It is Wei Suo has nothing to hide, watching this divine mystic great treasure can say. The original Black Bodhi Tianmu has fallen, no wonder it doesn't appear. When I heard Wei Suo's words, many of the cultivators gathered around the imperial city couldn't help but look at each other. Black Bodhi Tianmu is also the top figure in Skyfall continent, and the news of her fall is also able to touch one side. Exaltation Sect's divine mystic great treasure was shocked and his face changed completely, but after a while, it was once again courageous. Sound transmission to Wei Suo's ear, is both sect master and divine lord's agreement. My exaltation sect naturally obeys, but I don't know if sect master passed down the cannot be passed on secret of my exaltation section. My exaltation sect and great treasure are different from most sections. These are only the secret place shapeshift great art that sect master contacts. It is passed down from generation to generation sect master and is not recorded in my exaltation sect's scriptures depository. I will pass you the secret place shapeshift great art of these exaltation sections. You can take over the sect master position of exaltation sect and not let your exaltation sect break the inheritance. Wei Suo didn't hesitate anymore, and the sound transmission went to the ear of this divine mystic great treasure. Thank you, Wei Divine Lord. The divine mystic great treasure of exaltation sect was suddenly shocked, and Wei Suo did not expect it to be so easy. For their sect cultivator, which was favored by sect since childhood, the concept of sect benefits or even great treasure is in its own interest. At the moment, when we heard Wei Suo say, this exaltation sect divine mystic great treasure can be said from the beginning of now it has become a godliness. Since my sect master has already agreed with the Wei Divine Lord, then my exaltation sect will naturally be based on the Wei Divine Lord. The exaltation sect's divine mystic great treasure can no longer say anything, encourage true UN, and have such a surging sound, then step back and stand aside. In the past thousands of years, the records of the cultivation world, even if the sect crosses the great treasure 6 to kill, without exception, it ended in a disastrous defeat. Unexpectedly today, so many exotic great sects are actually being rogue cultivator great treasure can be impressed. Many people have come to this moment, they cannot help but sigh. I have a piece of help in advance. Nothing new divine mystic great treasure can appear. Wei Suo looked at Ji Yin God Lord and Jade Heaven sect master and others. Among the conditions he proposed at the moment, there are already many sects that give the water attribute monster core and the shapeshift great art great treasure shapeshift great art that can withstand heavenly tribulation. For his personalization, this time he took the heavenly emperor Deo, Equiquito to completely take the opponent, and get a good secret place than any previous one may be great treasure. But the great heavens nature bottle itself is something higher than this cultivation world. I am afraid that even this shapeshift great art great treasure is not known at all, so no one has surging sound. It can break the great heavens nature bottle. The party shapeshift great art. Wei Suo has also tried it. With his own power, there is no shapeshift great art to smash this great heavens nature bottle. Now he has gathered so many divine mystic great treasures, so he just wants to try. So many people, divine mystic great treasure, can make a strong shot and get strong power. Can you break this great heavens nature bottle in one fell swoop? Oh! Deist Wei, what do I have to do? When we heard Wei Suo say this, Jade Heaven sect master and Huang Daijun are all asking for horses. Primordial Yin old ancestor, Feng Wukang, and my Dao companion Ji Ya are all trapped in this great heavens nature bottle. The only thing I know about shapeshift great art is to break this great heavens nature bottle before I can release them. But this great heavens nature bottle is an emperor armament with the power of one person. There is no shapeshift great art at all, so I would like to ask you to take a shot and see if you can break this thing. Wei Suo took the great heavens nature bottle and said to everyone like Jade Heaven sect master. Culmination Purple Thunder sect is a real emperor armament. When we heard Wei Suo say, Jade Heaven sect master and others were very shocked. Well, let's try it out, but at the same time, these great treasures know that this is extremely important. Especially for Ji Yin God Lord and Jade Heaven sect master and Chu Liu Yun, There are people who are important to themselves, so there is no any nonsense. Horse nodded. We pay attention to the shapeshift great art degree, which is based on the shapeshift great art of the Elder Chu, and must make the strongest blow. Elder Chu, please show a Dao technique shapeshift great art first. Wei Suo looked at the old man of Eastweed's secret boundary and said this first. He said this because he could see that the divine consciousness of the old weed secret boundary was the weakest of all the great treasures in the presence, and the shapeshift great art was the slowest. Alright, Chu Liuyun knew that this was related to Wu Shenu's life and death, and there was no nonsense. After nodding, he reached out and made a purple divine light. You all feel clear? Wei Suo looked around and saw that the great treasures in the room were all nodding. Then they looked a little deeper and put the great heavens nature bottle in the sky. All right. For these divine mystic great treasures, it is not difficult to understand the impact of origin chi when others are wearing shapeshift great art. Chu Liuyun is also very aware of this, so after seeing Wei Suo put the great heavens nature bottle in the sky, there was nothing to stop, reaching out and playing a purple torrent, but also provoked a great treasure of the naked body, a surging sound, igniting a flaming red divine light. The rest of the people have also been engrossed, and the vibration of origin chi, which is sensitive to him, is very clear, and Chu Chuiun is hit. Hong, 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 the emptiness of the sky is like a volcano squirting at the same time, so that the cultivator around Huangtian can all stops breathing. Wei Suo, Saint King Sect Master, Jade Heaven Divine Lord, Jiying God Lord, Jade Heaven Sect Master, Huangdaijun, Chu Liuyun, Exaltation Sex Cloud Reverend, all broke the strongest blow, if any. A unique piece of small heaven and earth evolved in the void, and from all sides, it was suppressed in the great heaven's nature bottle. Dang! Great heaven's nature bottle violently trembled in the void, with a piercing burning and with a golden iron roaring surging sound. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 1135. Chapter 1135. Great treasure home has such a fate. So many divine mystic great treasures can produce the strongest power at the same time, which was not available in the previous 10 divine mystic great treasures against the enemy Wei Suo. Under the normal lust condition of the enemy, it is impossible to have so many powerful energy of divine mystic great treasure, and at the same time bombard a point. At this moment, so many divine mystic great treasures can make the strongest powerful energy impact, just like many small stars collide at the same time. The secret place is a devastating flame, terrifying powerful energy makes the 10 clouds cloud instantly collapse, void full distortion. Let the cultivator who sees the scene in Huangtian can feel suffocation. No break. Under the impact of such powerful energy, it is still intact. The entire naked body of this great heaven's nature bottle is also amazing. But at the moment when the devastating flame spread and the crystal light from the distortion of the void disappeared, all the people saw it. The great heaven's nature bottle was still intact, and there were no scars on the surface. It still shines in the cold blue. White is a touch of spirit light. Is it tyrannical to this extent? The entire naked body of this emperor armament is unimaginable. Huang Daijun and others are also very shocked. You must know that this great heaven's nature bottle has no controls at all. It does not inspire any origin chi powerful energy. It is completely a naked body, but it is a naked body. Exciting any powerful energy, they can completely withstand their blows. What should I do? Wei Suo's heart suddenly cooled a half. His perception is more than the rest of the great treasure cannot know how sharp, feel more clear. So many people hit the strong power, pressed to the great heaven's nature bottle faces the egg hit iron. This great treasure refining thing, and their powerful energy is not a grade at all. What steel teeth younger sister left is just a break, and Wei Suo feels what it means in her words. How to play this great heaven's nature bottle outside, it is estimated that they will not have anything inside. Such a small bottle can accommodate them, and there must be a unique space inside. But what if this is not broken? Obviously with their powerful energy of this intensity, they can't even hit it. Just like where an iron piece is placed, it is useless to lick more eggs in a flash. N. At this time, let Wei Suo and Huang Daijun suddenly blink of a gaze, and a golden light suddenly emerged from the void. It was Zantai Linglan who took Wei Suo and others to attack the Great Heavens Nature Bottle, and the control's void golden gourd came out of the void. Do not kill me. I have something to say. But Zantai Linglan controls void golden gourd from the void, but there is no shapeshift great art escape, but the horse is so scared that Wei Suo great treasure is screaming, full of cold sweat. What do you have to say? Zantai Linglan's move was somewhat out of Wei Suo's surprise. Looking at the incomparably Zantai Linglan, Wei Suo didn't do it, Ma asked. This Great Heavens Nature Bottle is the Emperor armament. It's almost impossible to break with Divine Mystic. If I can give you some news that will help you break this thing, can you let me go? Zantai Linglan looked at Wei Suo, very nervous, a look ready to break into the void again. Do you know something about breaking this Great Heavens Nature Bottle? Wei Suo only felt that his heart was awkward. Yes, I do know some. Zantai Linglan saw a look that could be talked about, and his face finally recovered. If you let me plant restrictions and obediently answer any of my questions, I can put you in a path. Wei Suo has no nonsense, Ma said. No, it's a bit too much. Zantai Linglan saw that Wei Suo was also very nervous. The horse was very precious. The horse shook his head. I know that if you don't let me go, I can't escape. But if you spend it with me, it's very likely that you can't save it. I have a shapeshift great art that can withstand the impact of your divine consciousness. Although I can't escape, I can still do it if I break into the void. Looking at Wei Suo seems to be hesitant, Zantai Linglan added the sentence. Well, I can let you go, but if you have a lie, you don't want to leave. Wei Suo said something helpless. I still can't do it. If you threaten it, your heart will be chaotic. If there is no such weakness, if you are very ruthless, then I will let you plant restrictions in order to save your life. When I heard Wei Suo say this, Zantai Linglan's heart suddenly became proud of it, and felt that it would never be like this. As long as you have escaped this time, you will hide far away, and there will be opportunities to turn over later. Zantai Linglan can be said that the more he wants to be in the heart, the more proud, but the face is not moving. Surging sound, great treasure. Surging sound, I promise not to have any false words. Since I promised you, don't talk nonsense. Quickly talk about how to break this Great Heavens Nature Bottle. Wei Suo's impatience. Tai Lingling looked at Wei Suo and said, I have green star nucleus metal in this Great Heavens Nature Bottle. Green star nucleus metal. Wei Suo looks at the Great Heavens Nature Bottle in his hand. Yes, when you bombarded this Great Heavens Nature Bottle, I saw this bottle with a little bit of green brilliance. Every green brilliance is like a swirling divine mark. This is the tire naked body. Many of the most notable features of green star nucleus metal have been added, said Zantai Linglan. What he said is not a lie. Huang Daijun gave a glimpse and couldn't help but look at Wei Suo. He did see the Great Heavens Nature Bottle with the green brilliance that Zantai Linglan said, but what green star nucleus metal is, but he is not. No. This green star nucleus metal is a green scorpion iron extract that only exists in the real star nucleus. This kind of sputum iron essence is extremely amazing. Add a little, and the tired body will reach an astonishing level. This Great Heavens Nature Bottle has been smelted into so many green star nucleus metals, even the great treasure of the true immortal fifth layer may not be broken. Only in the lust shape that withstands the long-term impact of the thunder fire outside the domain, the quality of this ferroniobium will be brittle and can be broken. Watching Wei Suo and Huang Daijun and others have never heard of green star nucleus metal. After explaining this sentence, Zantai Linglan explained, there are so many presents, I believe that there may have been this. As far as essence metal is concerned, you can know that what I am saying is not a lie. Yes, we are Skyfall Continent's rogue cultivator, Wei Divine Lord, and we have seen this essence metal record. Wei Suo is also welcome. The inquiry is going on, but there are two rogue cultivators confirming the words of Zantai Linglan. Just like this, Huang Daijun and Jade Heaven sect master and Ji Ying God Lord are somewhat itch. I think this Zantai Linglan is really treacherous and opportunistic. Even if you know how to use the thunder fire outside the domain, it's not true immortal. Who can does this great heaven's nature bottle fly to the outside world? However, Wei Suo was not angry. After seeing Zantai Linglan, it was a sound transmission to Zantai Linglan's ear. He directly asked, "Where is your indigo broken arm? How do you know that I have a?" Zantai Linglan was shocked and looked at Wei Suo with a surging sound. His body also has a broken arm of desolate race great treasure. Wei Suo just deliberately said such a temptation directly. Now, looking at the reaction of Zantai Linglan, Wei Suo knows that he is guessing well. Zantai Linglan's body, and sure enough there is a broken arm of desolate race great treasure. Lin Fenghua, Zhou Qingning, and Zantai Linglan, the three people who know what they have learned from the desolate race, have a broken arm of desolate race great treasure, which makes his heart feel faint. You don't care how I know it? Let me tell you honestly, where did you get this indigo broken arm, and your work, shapeshift great art and heritage, is it also from this indigo broken arm? Wei Suo looked at Zantai Linglan and said, "When you shouldn't see this broken arm, is this broken arm flying in the sky?" Zantai Linglan felt incredible, but after taking a sigh of relief, he was completely reacted to the unbelievable sound transmission to Wei Suo's ear. "It turns out that you are just like me, from this broken arm. Has it been passed down?" "Is that really the case?" As soon as I saw the look of Zantai Linglan, Wei Suo had a bottom in her heart and a brow. Sound transmission said coldly, "I asked you, you actually asked me. No wonder you saw me for the first time, it was obviously the same, it was for this reason. It seems that you know more than me." Zantai Linglan is completely wrong meaning, thought Wei Suo also and himself, repeatedly surprised sound transmission a few words, this just calmed down the mind, with strange eyes look at Wei Suo, saying with sound transmission, "Yes, I did because of the inheritance of this severed arm, I saw this severed arm, this arm is like a meteorite in the sky flying away, but I am not from this arm to get the inheritance, at that time is this arm grasping void golden gourd, I got a few classics in the void golden gourd, and got the inheritance. At the time, this broken arm flew to me and recognized the Lord. How about you? Is it the same?" After saying a few words, Zantai Linglan couldn't help but find the companion and said this to Wei Suo. "Yes, I am the same." When I heard Zantai Linglan say this, Wei Suo smiled and nodded and said this, and said, "Which area you just met this broken arm, before you met this broken arm, what is the identity?" "I am near the Luoju wilderness, what about you?" "Before I met this broken arm, I was the same as you were before. It was just a small rogue cultivator. I just followed a caravan and passed there." Zantai Linglan is even more excited. "Daoist Wei, since we all have such a fate, I am afraid that they all originate from the same inheritance, then you should always open the net. Lotus Wasteland, Wei Suo's eyes great treasure, know that Zhou Qingning can also tell him that it is just in the wilderness that desolate race great treasure can break the arm. It seems that the secret place is likely to be weird." Wei Suo was shocked in the heart, but the face was still reveals a smile. "It's not good to say clearly in this case, you will record a few classics for me, and then you can leave. This, Daoist Wei, your current work, Shapeshift Great Art and Shapeshift Great Art, are already invincible. Just don't need my stuff." Zantai Linglan, a pair of friends with Wei Suo, smiled awkwardly. "Well, since the Great Treasure family has such a fate, you should not be right with me in the future, you can go." Wei Suo said to Zantai Linglan, "The last sentence you can leave is public, and everyone has heard it." Really Zantai Linglan couldn't believe his ears. After a sigh of relief, he was so ecstatic that Wei Suo even said a few surging sounds, and then he left with void golden gourd. So I let this person go. The cultivator around Huangtiancan is also incredible. Wait. Suddenly, at this time, Saint King Sect Master and Divine Lord were left and right, and stopped. Zantai Linglan, you have promised us that we haven't done it yet, are you leaving? What is it? Zantai Linglan was a little embarrassed. You said goodbye to us before. We used Void Golden Gourd to exchange some of our sect's female disciples for Deo Companion. Now several sect female disciples have already done your Deo Companion. Now, you have to implement the promise and give us this Void Golden Gourd intercourse. How to forget, but also take Void Golden Gourd. Zantai Linglan originally wanted to subconsciously say when I changed women with Void Golden Gourd, and you too are sick But this moment, he reacted, and suddenly his face was white and angry, and he was facing the Wei Suo smashing great treasure. Wei Suo, you are too shameless, too mean, you said let me go, actually use this means. This is really obvious, even if the individual is afraid of it. This is Wei Suo secretly instructed, who will use the shapeshift great art great treasure such as Void Golden Gourd to change a few female disciples. But Wei Suo is a staller and an innocent look. This is your business, Zantai Linglan, it doesn't matter to me. Two sect masters, although this person is cheap but does not fulfill his promise, but I also give you some face, don't be angry, don't kill him. Just simply let me know what restrictions are, let him put Void Golden Gourd, what the intercourse is out of then. Wei Suo said this to Saint King Sect Master and Divine Lord. Wei Suo, you are too mean, Zantai Linglan grieves burning with the desire, almost tears and blood spurted out. I said that I can't let him go so easily for such a lust scene. The cultivators around Huangtiancan are all but the great treasure nodded secretly and secretly talked about each other. In their view, Zantai Linglan just happened to say something and wanted to get away. Wei Suo would let him go. It can't be said. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 1136. Chapter 1136, The Secret Place of Yellow Court Sect. Zantai Linglan rushed to bite Wei Suo's heart, but there was no shapeshift great art at all. Even if Wei Suo stood there and let him bite, he couldn't bite and broke his teeth. At the same time that the vomiting blood screamed a surging sound, he did not have any shapeshift great art at all, but only desperately moved Void Golden Gourd, and re-hidden in the void. Why went to the void again, and the two sect masters don't want to fire him? You can lay 17 of the 17 restrictions. The next sentence of Wei Suo almost made him black, and even Void Golden Gourd could not control it. Deist Wei, do you have a face shapeshift great art for this person and the great heavens nature bottle? Wei Suo's look makes Huangdaijun and Jade Heaven sect master both strange and can't help asking with sound transmission. Yes, but there is no complete success in the face of Huangdaijun and others. Wei Suo does not tell lies, saying with sound transmission, according to my previous understanding, if you motivate heavenly tribulation, it should be possible to break this great heavens nature bottle. Inspire heavenly tribulation. Huangdaijun and Jade Heaven sect master were all caught. After a while, Huangdaijun was the first to return to the sound transmission Wei Suo. It is reasonable to say that this is indeed feasible. Heavenly tribulation does not know how many extraterrestrial thunder fire will land. Is it possible to take the opportunity to break the great heavens nature bottle, but is it too late? Huangdaijun and others now know that heavenly tribulation is not as good as Wei Suo, which has collected many sect books. This first reaction is feasible, but time is too late. Although Wei Suo has previously secretly flowed through their intercourse, Ling Longtian and others may still have dozens of days, but in their knowledge, at least until true immortal, to promote heavenly tribulation. Wei Suo, even if the degree of cultivation is fast, it is too late. My lust shape is different from the general great treasure. Divine Mystic 4th layer breaks into the Divine Mystic 5th layer and should lead to heavenly tribulation. Wei Suo sound transmission to the ears of Huang Daejun et al. He had a cold heart before, and now he can still be so calm, because he thought of using heavenly tribulation to break the great heaven's nature bottle. From the exact record at hand, the third stage of heavenly tribulation is the earth fire. There are countless extra domain thunder fires, and the sixth stage of the golden wind, which is also a collection of countless extra domain thunder fire. Riding this field, thunder fire destroys the green star nucleus metal, and it is possible to break the great heaven's nature bottle. And the great heaven's nature bottle is so powerful that it can just be used to withstand some of the heavenly tribulation. As for Zantai Linglan, if you can get through heavenly tribulation and repair paradise divine fire, you can deal with it. If you can't come out, you can force him out. The key is to motivate heavenly tribulation and not be able to withstand it. If you can't resist it, it's all his family's old intercourse, stay there. What, if your Divine Mystic 4th layer breaks into the Divine Mystic 5th layer, will you want to promote heavenly tribulation? Heavenly tribulation, Wei Suo has been preparing for a long time, so I didn't feel anything special about it, but Huang Daejun and Jade Heaven sect master heard it, but it was completely shaken, even the complexion. It has changed. To know the record of this cultivation world, but for a long time no one has ignited heavenly tribulation. And Wei Suo is also the cotton eternal Saint King scripture to engrave divine marks. From time to time, the culture is interrupted, so that the current cultivation base is only close to the Divine Mystic 4th layer late stage. It has not entered the Divine Mystic as expected. 4th layer late stage. But both of them are very clear, with Wei Suo's Water Emperor Sun swallowing secrets, it doesn't take much to reach the peak of Divine Mystic 4th layer. No wonder you are so anxious to find Shapeshift Great Art Great Treasure and Shapeshift Great Art for Heavenly Tribulation. Both Huang Daejun and Jade Heaven sect master reacted completely. Daoist Wei, what are your plans for next? If there is nothing special about it, we're afraid to do everything to help you search for Shapeshift Great Art Great Treasure and Shapeshift Great Art against Heavenly Tribulation. After Huang Daejun and Jade Heaven sect master looked at each other, they all heard the sound transmission to Wei Suo. Besides having to bother the two seniors to help me search for Shapeshift Great Art Great Treasure and Shapeshift Great Art against Heavenly Tribulation, one important thing is to help Wei Suo is facing Huang Daejun and Jade Heaven sect master and Ji Ying God Lord, saying with sound transmission, now Wang Wei and Sushenxiu are being held by me. I have Purdue Divine Light to take full control of them and let them say all their secret places. This Purdue Divine Light, I am afraid you are going to help me apply Shapeshift Great Art. Judging from the current lust shape, Wei Suo knows that his heavenly tribulation is that he has to cross the road if he does not want to cross. In this case, of course, he must first throw away the other and prepare for the robbery. Not only true UN cultivation base, but also the top of the Divine Mystic 4th layer, and the Eternal Saint King scripture to engrave divine marks and the understanding of the great treasure of the Shapeshift Great Art field are also impossible to stop. The body and divine ability are stronger, the life is more than one point of survival. Divine mark, such as Wang Wei and Sushenxiu, is definitely useful, and controls these people. It can also be used to help with the resistance of heavenly tribulation. If the friends help the robbery and the tired and fallen, Wei Suo will not be willing to go, but these are already extremely bad. The hysterical guy, he has nothing to worry about. During these people with Purdue Divine Light, it's just a small matter, and it's packed in us. Huang Daejun and others naturally understand Wei Suo's meaning, and the horses nodded. Wei Suo didn't waste time either. He reached out and directly directed Purvey Divine Light's Shapeshift Great Art to Huang Daejun and others. Now Huang Daejun and Jade Heaven sect master, Saint King sect master and others joined forces to apply Shapeshift Great Art, and what Wu Wu and Sushenxiu add up to a maximum of 10 days. Yellow quartz X seeks the way divine lord. Suddenly, another rainbow came from the distant secret place and landed outside the heavenly Emperor Dao gate, causing a sigh of relief around the imperial city. Yellow quartz X sect master the divine lord can be said to be one of the masterminds of this battle, and just escaped. At this moment, someone came to see Wei Suo. Everyone knows what the divine lord is selling in the bottle gourd. What medicine is it? Wei Suo is also a bit embarrassed. It comes from a beautiful female sex gorgeous female cultivator, which is slim and wears a white shapeshift great art, but also has a cultivation base of the golden core 5th layer. It is definitely among the yellow quartz sect true disciple. Bye. What does it mean to call you divine lord? Wei Suo looked at the female cultivator and there was no nonsense. Asked about surging sound. Little girl Du Chunlin, the teacher called me to ask for the forgiveness of divine lord and talk to divine lord. The female cultivator is outstanding in appearance, and the surging sound is very gentle. On the contrary, the name is very ordinary. After the great treasure ceremony of Wei Suo, he said. And peace talks? Divine Lord's brain is moving fast this day. If he doesn't come, Wei Suo will definitely be the first to kill Yellow Quartz sect, and he's sure he's afraid of coming, but he's sent one. The beautiful female disciple is coming. Want Wei Suo to be soft? How does Yellow Quartz sect talk to Wei Suo and use Wei Suo's current divine ability, as long as it is possible to sweep the Yellow Quartz sect in the past? As soon as I heard this female cultivator, the cultivator around Huangtianquan suddenly became discoursed spiritedly. What conditions does he give? Wei Suo didn't want to waste time, he asked directly. Originally all the sects that killed him, only Heaven Transformation Cult and Yellow Quartz sect did not come. Heaven Transformation Cult was previously hid by him. After the fall of Sushenxiu, it has been completely ruined, and Huangdaijun etal when I came over, I got a message and took over Heaven Transformation Cult. As for the Yellow Quartz sect, Wei Suo was originally rushed. The Yellow Quartz sect is the longest sect of these great treasures. The Shapeshift Great Art Great Treasure and the Shapeshift Great Art are definitely more than other sections, and Wei Suo even has plans, even when the Yellow Quartz sect gates the heavenly tribulation, even if the Divine Lord has more inheritance of the Shapeshift Great Art, how many great treasures are banned, they must be forced to do with themselves. Together with heavenly tribulation, it is equivalent to help yourself. My master said, my Yellow Quartz sect can also list the same as other sects. Let Wei Divine Lord pick, just seek the Wei Divine Lord alliance. I hope Wei Divine Lord great treasure people great treasure, don't care about me master respects things that were previously against you. My teacher also said that in order to be sincere, he can tell you a secret reservation of extremely great treasure, and maybe you have great treasure for you. In addition, Shaizun also said that as long as Daijun does not deny the little girl can follow the service of Divine Lord for a lifetime, and the Divine Lord's concubine can also be. Yellow Quartz sect's fascinating female cultivator sound transmission into Wei Suo's ear. After saying this, the face is completely red. This day, the Divine Lord actually used the trick. Wei Suo secretly screamed for a surging sound. This day, the Divine Lord is obviously because he has a lot of Dao companion, thinking that he is very greedy, so he also arranged such a female disciple. But for Wei Suo, Jia and others are already in the mind, and how can it be possible to accommodate others? What secret place? He was a little surprised by the hidden secret place that Yellow Quartz sect said, because it seems very difficult to listen to the words that Divine Lord told the female cultivator. Divine Lord, is this agreed? Yellow Quartz sect's female cultivator is ice white but smart. The horse said this sentence. First use this sentence to cover Wei Suo's meaning, and then it is constantly saying with sound transmission, I respect said hidden secret place, that is a secret place to demolish the legacy of the treasure. Divine Lord is not a companion, but also a descendant of the metaphor of the great treasure. Inside the secret place, there is also an ancient style great treasure demon. What? The phrase of this gorgeous female cultivator is to make Wei Suo's face completely changed. Where is the secret place? Divine Lord, are you agreeing? The gorgeous female cultivator asked Ma Kika poorly. I can agree to this condition for the time being and talk to you Wei Suo. Where is the heart lust and this female cultivator nonsense? Ma said this. The news was too shocking for him, and he was very clear that even if he killed the Yellow Court sect now, the Divine Lord must have already ran, and maybe he would take a lot of things. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 1137. Chapter 1137, Myriad Immortals Mountain. Thank you Divine Lord. In the eyes of the gorgeous female cultivator, she suddenly had an excited look. She knew that Wei Suo had promised it, at least not to clear the Yellow Court sect. The secret place seals the place of the ancient-style Great Treasure Demon. In what secret place? The ancient-style Great Treasure Demon is life or death. Wei Suo didn't have any nonsense at all. He was so shocked that he really wanted to see the horse appear in that place and see if the Yellowstone sect said that the deformed Great Treasure Demon is spirit race or desolate race. This is not only the final result of the heaven-shaking battle of the year, but if the spirit race Great Treasure can survive, I am afraid that he can give him great help. Maybe he can help him deal with the great heavens nature battle. I only know that the secret place is in Myriad Immortals Mountain. I don't know what lust shape is inside the naked body, but Divine Lord just goes there. Our Yellow Court sect's elders will bring Divine Lord. Go in Yellow Court sect's flamboyant female cultivator replied. Cloud's Divine Lord, have you heard of the secret place of Myriad Immortals Mountain? Wei Suo eyes flash, sound transmission to the eyes of the Divine Lord in the Exaltation sect. Myriad Immortals Mountain is a secret place wasteland outside of our Skyfall continent northern part Heaven's Dome Cloud Shadow Divine Lord no Wei Suo asked this Myriad Immortals Mountain is certainly and now Wei Suo and this Yellow Court sect female of the talk about, so answered 10 in detail, that secret place is an ancient meteorite fell to the ground, the mountains were the meteorite impact of strange, like a revered immortal, continuous, so named, that secret places where the distance. Heaven's Dome 30,000, distance Yellow Court sect G-Read treasure in about 70,000. You, the Yellow Court sect said Myriad Immortals Mountain, and my companion have a great treasure relationship, which may be related to the great treasure hidden secret place. I want to go. Wei Suo has no hesitation. The horse is facing the sound transmission of Huang Daijun and others. The things here are like you. The four-armed demon must also be careful. If there is any trace, you must leave. The four-armed demons have at least half the strength of true immortal, and there are also Tathagata divine glow and void walking step shape shift great art. Even if all of us join hands, it may not be his opponent. Well, we will send people to contact you and keep sending the collected things to your hands. Huang Daijun and others, although they don't know the hidden secret place of spirit race and desert race. But looking at Wei Suo's look at the moment, I know that this is unusual for Wei Suo, and it's mentioned before Wei Suo. Heavenly tribulation, they are also very aware that Wei Suo's time is extremely expensive. As for Wei Suo's safety, they are not worried. With Wei Suo's current divine ability, Yellow Court sect is not surprising, and even if it can kill Wei Suo, Yellow Court sect will definitely be the fate of the door. Wei Suo's opponent is now almost completely wiped out. If these people avenge Wei Suo, so many sects and forces add up, and Yellow Court sect is simply impossible to resist. What's more, Wei Suo's heart and enemy experience is much stronger than the average great treasure. If you really want to deal with him, I am afraid I will see it. Now they have so many sects joining together, adding all the way to the past. Alioth continent has Eastweed secret boundary, Skyfall continent has a local snake such as Exaltation sect. Wei Suo's whereabouts may be difficult to master, but they always contact Wei Suo and will need Wei Suo. Things are transported in the past, but there is no problem. This is a few secret place shapeshift great art for your Exaltation section. There is also Divine Lord, you are the Korchi sword, and it is still very useful for me. These heavenly Emperor Dao's shapeshift great art, you can understand yourself, even if you compensate. Wei Suo reached out and pointed a few pieces of note to the clouds and Divine Lord and Yu Hung Divine Lord. The eyes of Divine Lord and others have suddenly appeared in the eyes of ecstasy. This is also the means for Wei Suo to be a profiteer. Let the person who followed you always have a great treasure and a secret place. The person who follows you will help you. Exaltation sex shapeshift great art, such as cannot be passed on secret, needless to say about the inheritance of exaltation section for the Divine Lord, some secret places are better than a flying pair of shapeshift great art great treasure. Value is naturally much more important. This evil king jewel crown is also extremely rare, the yellow sect master, this thing is left to you first, in case of any great treasure enemy, it is also very useful. Du Dao, you come to control this Korchi Excalibur, and the horse will take me to Myriad Immortals Mountain after leaving the evil king jewel crown to Huangdea Jun and Jade Heaven sect master. Wei Suo will point to the fastest flying shapeshift great art great treasure he has seen so far, and the Korchi of the Divine Lord of Yuhang point to Yellow Court. In front of sex gorgeous female cultivator, let the female cultivator controls leave the heavenly Emperor Dao Gate and head towards Skyfall continent. Wei Suo left the heavenly Emperor Dao Gate and left with the female cultivator. What does Yellow Court sect mean? What happened in the end? Wei Suo left so anxious. Seeing such a scene, all the cultivators around Emperor Tiancheng are discuss spiritedly, but naturally no one can guess the true inner lust. Because anyway, it is ready to face heavenly tribulation, true UN cultivation base and other divine ability become equally important, so Wei Suo has no cover. Once you leave heavenly Emperor Dao, you can directly take out water attribute monster core and keep using water. Emperor Sun swallowing secrets refining and also began to learn about divine mark. In the hands of Black Bodhi Tianmu and Saint King sect master, he was given a total of 19 divine mark, who had arrived in heavenly Emperor Dao's gate of the 7 divine mark who carved the 19 divine mark, 12 more complex divine mark, and the shadow divine lord intercourse a divine mark. Eastweed secret boundaries Chu elders themselves have not yet been able to comprehend a great treasure road shapeshift great art domain, but before Wushenu has secretly given Eastweed secret boundary. Sent the message to the Eastweed secret boundary Wei Suo to collect the complete divine mark, so this time he also gave Wei Suo brought 2 divine mark. In this way, Wei Suo already has the complete congeal shapeshift great art and the detailed record of the great treasure divine mark, and the remaining 15 pieces can be engraved. As for his body also has some intrinsic divine marks shapeshift great art great treasure and the shapeshift great art device, in the unidentified inside divine marks origin chi nature and does not have any what record of lust condition, want to ponder congeal out, time is certainly too late, but light will hand these 15 divine mark can congeal out, engraved into the naked body, his flesh must also can great treasure g read treasure a grade. Eternal Saint King scripture although it has been in Saint King sect for a long time, Saint King sect does not have any great treasure at all, and can get so many amazing divine marks. Because Saint King sect has never seen the great treasure of Wei Suo. Only the characters like Eastern Tathagata and Wei Suo, which have been rare for thousands of years or even thousands of years, can suppress all the peers great treasures of the same generation, so that so many levels of great treasure forces have to yield, follow him. The rules below. As for the sharpshift great art field of the powerful shapeshift great art, he was ranked last in the Wei Suo's plan, because every congeal a great treasure road divine mark is also a new feeling for the various worlds of origin chi. It will make him understand more clearly about the various origin chi. The farther he goes on this road, the more he realizes his greatest treasure, the shapeshift great art field, and it will be easier. Wei Suo runs water emperor sun swallowing secrets, just let true UN and water spirit UN chi flow naturally, compared to the degree of full-fledged monster core cultivation, I am afraid that only 1/3, but such origin chi spit, it has already made this the Yellow Court sect is the same as the previous Saint King sect master and the Divine Lord, which is almost numb. this degree of culture, and can rely on the transfer of true Yuan and water spirit Yuan Qi, it is no wonder that he can raise true Yuan against the refining water attribute monster core and the spiritual herb. It is no wonder that he is far from all great treasures. Even the characters of the predecessors are better than him. What shocked her even more was that Wei Suo was obviously trying to congeal divine mark, and she saw it with her own eyes. It took only a little more time, and Wei Suo succeeded in congeal divine mark. Gen. Wei Suo didn't have time to manage the idea of this female cultivator, and temporarily stopped the culture of Water Emperor Sun swallowing secrets, and kept the new congeal out of the divine mark's engraving naked body. The divine mark, one of two divine mark of the Eastweed secret boundary Chu elders, is the Eastweed secret, which cost a lot from boundary Alioth sect intercourse in exchange. Its own shapeshift great art called Treasured Pearl Damask Silk, is a defensive operation shapeshift great art. Wei Suo, the simplest of the remaining 15 divine mark, who congeal out at such a fast speed, has no accident of his own. In any case, shapeshift great art has its own origins, but many of the shapeshift great art below earth rank are very simple. The single origin Qi shapeshift great art, the equivalent to shapeshift great art itself, is a simple source. These techniques, shapeshift great art, naturally do not have to dig out the source again, evoking the power of stronger power. And a lot of earth level, powerful art shapeshift great art. Nature is a variety of origin Qi shapeshift great art of the sum, thoroughly investigated the source, stimulated a variety of origin Qi shapeshifty great art is the strongest powerful energy, which is what cultivation world says great treasure shapeshift great art domain, congeal out divine ma rk, according to eternal Saint King scripture naturally can be carved into the naked body, but Wei Suo this is engraved in this treasured pearl damask silk divine mark after. The feeling of the impact on their physical body is already very small. This is where his body has reached a certain level. If you use the eternal Saint King scripture to engrave divine marks and describe it with the simplest image of shapeshift great art, it is like plating on a piece of divine iron. The protective layer. Anyway, no matter what kind of protective layer, some use some secret place, but the powerful energy evolved by divine mark is not particularly tyrannical. The layer of protective layer that is equito to plating is very thin, and it will resist the enemy time. The protective layer plays a relatively small role and is easily broken down. After a clearer perception of this, Wei Suo has no urgency, but it is still a simple to difficult principle, because there is a secret place. A divine mark is hard to come by, and these divine marks are definitely must be engraved into the naked body. All the way to the yellow quartz X gorgeous female cultivator with Wei Suo, through the transmission of the shapeshift great art array to transfer the transmission between the shapeshift great art array, and then use the core Qi Excalibur to make the road. Just use the great treasure half-day time has already entered heavenly profound continent. Heavenly profound continent heaven's dome is completely collapsed. It is no different from the wilderness. There is very little transmission of shapeshift great art. In order to save time, Wei Suo will not be in the same moment with Li Ruohe and Xuanhuan old ancestor of heavenly profound continent. Waiting for someone to meet, but continue to cross. A few days later, Wei Suo and the name Yellow Quartz sect entered the Alioth continent. Alioth continent's almost all level of great treasure power, all of which have been with Wei Suo at the moment, have received news. Shortly after Wei Suo entered the territory of Alioth continent, there were many great sects great treasure cultivators such as Eastweed secret boundary, Myriad Phoenix's palace, Underworld sect, Tourmaline sect, etc., and many water attribute monster cores were sent to Wei Suo's. In the hands of the team, and help Wei Suo and the Yellow Quartz sect gorgeous short cultivator the shortest, most time-saving road. Just a half-day of great treasure, Wei Suo and the Yellow Quartz sect fascinated female cultivator crossed Alioth continent, passing the secret shift great art array through a secret place, approaching the edge of Skyfall continent. At this time, Wei Suo's true Yuan cultivation base has really entered the divine mystic fourth layer late stage, and the remaining 15 divine marks in his hand, along with the treasured pearl damask silk, have already been engraved. 5. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziwei. Chapter 1138. Chapter 1138. An Ancient Palace. The great treasure mountains of Black E, Red Sea, Gold E, and Black Iron E, stand side by side, giving people a sense of oppression. This steep giant treasure mountain, from afar, is like a statue from ancient times. Immortal. A piece of black and gold yue petals fall in the air and fall on the ground, but it is the surging sound of the cold metal hitting the ground. This is a scene that is difficult to describe in words. Many steep rock walls up to several thousand feet are full of black gold and two yue flowers with a face of great treasure. At this moment, it is just the season of the dry yue. The yue petals are detached from these yue flowers, and they are scattered with fascinating light. After entering the Skyfall continent, there was also a cultivator with exaltation sect and yellow court section. He and the yellow court sect's female cultivator did not stop at all. They chose the fastest way to get to the Divine Lord. Said this myriad immortals mountain. He has never been to Yuhang Great Treasure 6 and Skyfall continent before. Yuhang has a particularly difference between the scenery of the Great Treasure 6 and the heavenly profound continent, but the Skyfall continent is completely different, obviously to the secret place. The mines in the buildings, even to the secret place, are the forests and boulder piles formed by the one stone and the extraterrestrial stars. At the moment, this myriad immortals mountain is really like a demon domain, completely a scene he has not seen before. Even if the Divine Lord did not tell him the history, he can also see that these great treasure mountains, standing like the same sage, are also formed by the impact of the extraterrestrial meteorites and the original mountains. The gold and iron atmosphere of all these mountains is very strong, and it is no wonder that Skyfall continent produces a variety of excellent Jingjing gold and crystal stone. Seeing this scene that she had never seen before, Wei Suo couldn't help but reach out and took a black and gold yue flap in his hand. Although this piece of yue has been withered and curled, but there is still a slab great treasure, small, start cold, the veins seem like a piece of steel wire. It is obvious that it has absorbed a lot of Jing gold. This is Yunjin Yue. Collecting these yue is the Jing gold that can extract some shapeshift great art, but the rank is not high. The great treasure is about 100 pieces of gold yue price and half of the spiritual stones. Seeing that Wei Suo seems to have some interest in the yue flap in the opponent, Yellow Quartz X fascinating YN female cultivator immediately explained in a flattering way. It is as expected. Wei Suo bounced the yue flap in his hand and danced in the air. In fact, he really is not interested in the great treasure of this kind of gold yue. Spirit Peak City Xiaojian Shangori. When he saw these yue, the first thing that comes to mind is that these yues contain a lot of useful Jing gold. It should be possible to get out for spiritual stones. Now the interpretation of the surname Yn Yema female cultivator is to prove his want to shapeshift great art. 100 yue half a spiritual stone's price is already not low. Look at these yue petals fluttering in the valley below. To set 100 roses should not need yue fee too much time. To know he started in Spirit Peak City, but often a day to earn a low-grade spiritual stones. In order to value a few spiritual stones, low-grade monster can be a full ambush one day. Beast bad also want to get nothing. It's just that the Heaven's Dome from Skyfall continent is already tens of thousands of miles away. The general low-grade rogue cultivator is not daring to run so far, but the cultivator that has the ability to run so far is not concerned about these things. The value is to collect more value for something more great treasure back. I know that there are a lot of good things in the wilderness far away. I can easily change a lot of spiritual stones, but I don't have shapeshift great art. I can only set shapeshift great art to collect some low-value things in Heaven's Dome. There aren't many spiritual stones earned in a year, and that's the status of the low-grade rogue cultivator like he used to. Chi. 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 At this time, 3 dazzling rainbows rose from the sky and greeted Wei Suo and Du's female cultivator. See Wei Divine Lord. The three people who plucked from Myriad Immortals Mountain are very old people, all of whom are the old antiques of Yellow Court sect. What about Divine Lord? Is he not in this secret place? Wei Suo looked at the three old antiques of Yellow Court sect and nodded and asked. Our sect master is still worried about the anger of Divine Lord, so I still don't dare to come here, or I hope that Divine Lord Great Treasure is a great treasure among the three old people. A white robe with a white beard and a wrinkled old man smiled and said to Wei Suo. He knows that Wei Suo also knows that Divine Lord is afraid that Wei Suo will deal with him, so he dare not come here. Concealing the words may make Wei Suo angry, so it is true. Give me all the things I have recorded here for the time being. Wei Suo was too lazy to care about Divine Lord. He reached out and handed a note to Jade Talisman in front of the old man. Before he came to Yellow Court sect, the YN female cultivator of the Du surname had Yellow the Court sect Jia to Wei Suo. Yellow Court was the sect of these few great treasure 6, the oldest great treasure men, 30,000 or 40,000 years of heritage, is indeed extraordinary savings. Light can be used to withstand heavenly tribulation. Shapeshift great art, great treasury and shapeshift great art, there are more than 19, and most importantly, Yellow Court sect has a men supreme ancient scripture. Yellow Court 5, Emperor's scripture, cultivation viscera, can great treasure enhance the ability to mobilize origin chi, lifting the shapeshift great art powerful energy. This Menancian scripture is also amazing, completely no less than the ancient scripture of Immortal Root 5 secrets, Wei Suo is sure to get. As for the immortal level and the amazing artifact refinement materials in the Yellow Court sect list, he doesn't need to use it. He remembers it first and then gets it in his hand. Wei Suo, this piece of Jade Talisman is in front of the old antiques of Yellow Court section. The three old antiques are all inexplicably bitter. The three old people are very clear, Divine Lord and Yellow Court sect this time, although the death penalty can be escaped, but the great treasure bleeding is inevitable. Wei Suo, this Jade Talisman is inevitable. Lion great treasure opening. Divine Lord, rest assured, I will do it right away, and I will send it in a short time. Among the three old antiques, an old antique wearing a blue shirt immediately gave a tribute to Wei Suo. After picking up this Jade Talisman, he immediately left. You said this secret place, hidden secret place, what kind of lust shape is inside? Wei Suo immediately asked the remaining two old people. This is a long story. We Yellow Court sect in the collection of a vein of Jing gold 20,000 years ago, there is a secret place. Is obviously ancient cultivator left the ancient palace. This 20,000 years we Yellow Court sect has been set shapeshift great art entered, but the restrictions of the secret place was too strong until more than 1,000 years ago. This secret place Terra changed, and that secret place ancient palace restrictions finally destroyed. We Yellow Court sect have finally entered one of them. After entering the ancient palace, our Yellow Court sect is an empty DNG inside the ancient palace. Nothing has just sealed an ancientized giant treasure. Among the two old people, the old man with white robes and white whiskers explained that his face was a more unspeakable bitter god, and it was obvious that in order to enter the ancient palace, he said, Yellow Court sect UA cost a lot the price, but in the end, nothing was obtained. We must also tell Wei Suo about this news. How to seal? What is the shape of the great treasure in the end? Wei Suo took a deep breath and immediately asked. His heart was not calm at the moment. The seal of the deformed great treasure demon is a strange transparent greenish crystal stone, without any rune, nor any shapeshift great art array. Our Yellow Court sect has been searching for books for thousands of years. What crystal stone is that crystal stone? The white-robed, white-bearded old man looked at Wei Suo. The genre great treasure inside is a YN female cultivator that looks like a 30-year-old, but both hands have a scale like a red great treasure stone. And with a golden ewing, is definitely not a cultivator. In addition, there is a white EUA-like rune in the eyebrow, sparkling. This metamorphic great treasure demon is worn by a strange murderer. What? This metamorphic great treasure is dead. Wei Suo had already been jaded to the extreme. He listened to Ling Longtian and carefully said the appearance of several pieces of deserty race. Now listen to the description of the old man, although he does not know which one of the spirit races, but it is obvious. This is not a desertate race, but a spirit race. At this moment, when he heard that the spirit race was worn by a strange murderer, he suddenly felt shocked and his face turned. The great treasure drank the surging sound and interrupted the old man. Way divine lord, this metamorphic great treasure demon may not have died. Seeing Wei Suo's face turned do surname cultivator and the two old people suddenly face white, my heart was very shocked. The white robe white bearing old man immediately trembled and said, "What may you mean by not dying? Wei Suo has some problems, and I have to go and see it right away. She seems to have life on her body. It's just that we don't know what the identity of the great treasure is, how to get rid of the crystal stone, and what kind of consequences it would take if we didn't know how to remove the crystal stone, so we didn't dare to move, and we have been studying for thousands of years." The old antique of the yellow quartz said quickly. "Is there still life?" Wei Suo couldn't help it anymore, and immediately said to the two old people, "Take me right away." "Divine Lord, please come with us." Two yellow quartz old antiques immediately led the way and plunged straight into a great treasure mountain among myriad immortals mountain. The great treasure mountain looks far away, like the ancient god of the same god. The shape of the mountain naked body is very similar to a burly man holding a great treasure hammer and a tomahawk. The top of the mountain top is a vine with many black it hangs down to the mountain. Naked body of central region. The most amazing thing is that, not far from the secret place, Wei Suo saw that the top of the mountain's naked body, there are actually 7 mountain dongs, which are just like the 7-footed man. Pu a surging sound whispered, and the two old quartz of yellow quartz sect continued to move forward in the crack of the naked body of the central region of the great treasure mountain, but between the magnificent light flashes, it was closed. Restrictions, a yin wind blows out from the mountain naked body. After the passage that was opened up in the naked body of the mountain plunged into the obliquely below, an ancient palace appeared in the side of Wei Suo's. Ta. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Zy. Chapter 1139. Chapter 1139 Holy Woman. The ancient palace is only a few dozen feet of great treasure. It looks like an ordinary temple. Without any spirit light, it looks like it is carved from the most common gray-black stone. But Wei Suo was shocked when he saw this ancient palace. This ancient palace is not in his divine consciousness, that is to say, he did not detect the existence of this ancient palace. If the moment do not look at this ancient palace, just rely on divine consciousness exploration, the front of this ancient palace is a nothingness, not only does not have any breath to reveal, even the ancient palace itself all cease to exist. The way to hide this is to the extent that Wei Suo's divine consciousness has no shape-shift great art at the moment, and any sect and cultivator that studies restrictions now have no shape-shift great art at all. This is an invisible shock that is enough to shake off all the power of today's cultivation world. At the beginning of this ancient palace, there were 32 reticle shrouds, and there was a sacred treasure. But Xuanhuan was not bright at all, and it did not perceive any origin chi fluctuations, but it was also close to the front. Later, the secret place was naturally changed by great treasure. The 32-fold mask disappeared, but we couldn't even see it. What kind of restrictions were laid down? The two old ladies of the yellow quartz sect who led the way clearly felt the shock of Wei Suo's heart and said this again. Take me in. Wei Suo took a deep breath, nodded and said to the two old people. There are no restrictions around the ancient palace, and the two old people of yellow quartz sect have entered the ancient palace with Wei Suo and the female cultivator. Ah! Although I have already heard the lust shape inside, but as soon as I entered the ancient palace, surnamed female cultivator could not help but surrender a surging sound. Among the two transparent crystal stones of two people, such as the crystal clear blue condense, a woman is covered with a slight spirit light, as if she is sleeping. Her skin looks like it is carved with the finest white crystal stone, giving a feeling of dreamy fairy spirit. Her facial features are just like the ones drawn, and the fairy rhymes that can't be said are scattered. Her show is like a waterfall, and it seems to be flowing in the crystal stone, as if she had just bathed in the ordinary spirit. The shapeshift great art on her body is a style that is completely absent now. It is exactly like the clouds, and there are strips of ribbons. There is no rune on the surface, but there is a faint divine light in the inside. Like the old white robes of Yellow Court sect, the dreamy woman has a pair of long golden wings on her back, with the sun shining, and a small diamond on her back. Red great treasure stone scales. Like the golden long wings, this scale is also born from the woman's naked body, which is really not a cultivator. But let do surname gorgeous female cultivator cannot help but a surging sound exclaimed the most great treasure reason, but this woman in green transparent crystal stone package, the same is no breath through reveals, but is like a sleeping general woman, but is to give people an unimaginable pressure, so she even kind of stand unstable, to kneel in the sense of the ground. This can only show that the woman in this pale green crystal stone seal is definitely unimaginable. This is definitely not the same thing as the four-armed desolate race great treasure Wei Suo is the same feeling. Now he is thoroughly understand why the tone of Ling Longtian always said four arms desolate race great treasure can be a small role. This is not afraid not to know, is afraid of goods than goods. Previously he faced four arms desolate race great treasury can when, already feel four arms desolate race great treasure can breath already terrifying incomparable, but now just intuition. This seal in crystal stone woman, then four arms desolate race great treasure can be much worse. There is no breath and divine consciousness flow reveals, just a kind of intangible verve, it gives people so strong great treasure of the pressure, no wonder Yellow Court has entered the millennium, but it is not dare to sect, even Wei Suo the present strength, the crystal stone in the woman all let him have a kind of no blasphemy, no shapeshift great art to gaze at the feeling. SS. After Wei Suo took a deep breath, it was completely calmed down, and the true face of this should be the great treasure of spirit race. Boom. Soon, his heart violently jumped, and the naked body seemed to be hit by an invisible great treasure hammer. There is no accessory on this woman, but the heart artery's secret place is passed by a strange vine. The color of this vine through the naked body is extremely mottled, and the color of the outer skin gives the impression that it is the most colorful shell. There is no difference between the stems and the general vines. The thickness of the fingers, the vines in this way, Wei Suo's ancient desolate there is no such thing as the herbal medicine. What's even more amazing is that among the vines, there are endless stars flashing. Wei Suo just glanced at it and felt that there was a heaven-shaking killing intent that rippled through his sea of consciousness. This is the shapeshift great art great treasure that desolate race great treasure can refine. Wei Suo's mind that had just calmed down was a tough shock. This finger-sized vine penetrated the woman's shapeshift great art suit, revealing a foot from the back of the woman, and among the vines it seems that there is still terrifying fierceness, and the invisible charm is light, giving him the unimaginable heart divine might. This desolate race great treasure is very researchable on the deserty race plant. It is very likely that there is any heaven-shaking great treasure in the desertate race. It is actually using Supreme's divine ability to refining a vine into a rank. The terrifying ancient soldier gave the woman a fatal blow. This is what kind of battle, the spirit race woman who is such a strong great treasure, how can it be penetrated like this, how can it be in such a crystal stone? Wei Suo has even a feeling of incomprehensibility under the strange spirit light, which is swaying on the edge of this strange vine. How do you know that she still has life? After a dozen breaths, Wei Suo had a tough turn and looked at the two Yellow Court sect old antique, which could not breathe even the great treasure. At the moment, the ancient palace is hollow, and the surface of this green crystal stone is not regular. It stands on a stone below and is connected with the stone, as if it grew out of the stone. The green crystal stone isolates everything. Although the woman does not seem to have death chi at all, she is asleep, but Wei Suo has no shapeshift great art at all to perceive whether the woman is alive or dead. We can't feel it, but our previous sect master said that by touching this crystal stone, you can feel the blood flowing inside the crystal stone and be able to feel the anger. The white-robed old man looked at Wei Suo. Touch this crystal stone. Wei Suo's eyes fell on the green crystal stone. Wei Divine Lord, would you like me to give it a try? Du surnamed female cultivator heard Wei Suo repeat it, immediately bit his teeth and walked forward. Why are you doing this, Wei Suo? This is a little surprised. Sound transmission to this woman's ears. In this green crystal stone, women and ancient soldiers under the invisible power, any look changes are put great treasure. He almost feel it out. This Du surname gorgeous female cultivator is afraid of what traps, so he offered to try first, and Wei Suo obviously feel out. This gorgeous female cultivator eyes fell on his body, but is really worried about their safety appearance. In fact, for this green crystal stone Wei Suo, I don't worry about the trap under the yellow quartz section because the atmosphere of the two yellow quartz changes. He also knows very well that no one has abnormal fluctuations. If you really want to deal with him and deal with his existence, your heart will be very nervous, and the flow of chi and blood will naturally become different. This mistress is already a divine lord, and it's natural to have a divine lord. The face of the female cultivator is full of red glow, and the shy sound transmission to Wei Suo's ear. Wei Suo was a bit dumbfounded, and even the tension in his heart eased a lot. He only reacted. The condition that Divine Lord gave him was included in the condition of the female cultivator, and at that time he was because of this. The secret place was too shocking to say that he agreed to the conditions, but he did not expect this. He and this Du surname cultivator, but there is no child private lust, naturally do not want her to do deo companion or concubine, especially in the case of Ji Yat and others have not been out of trouble. His heart is even this, there are no ideas at all. However, this female cultivator, since he said so, really does his job. Wei Suo thinks it can be treated as a friend, but also gives her a lot of secret places. Especially after knowing Shui Linger's experience, Wei Suo is very similar to Lust's great sect disciple like the female cultivator. It is really for the benefit of sect. It can be regarded as shapeshift great art, great treasure and goods. However, Wei Suo didn't want to say anything nonsense at the moment, and knew that there should be no danger. The female cultivator, reached out and touched the green crystal stone. Divine Lord, I can't feel it as he expected. After Du touched the female cultivator for a while, there was no reaction, and some were difficult to be general, and he said this to him. Wei Suo didn't have any nonsense, nodded and stretched his hand slowly on the green crystal stone. His breath stagnate in an instant. A breath of chi and blood is clearly echoing in the green crystal stone, giving him the feeling that the spirit race woman in crystal stone is really like asleep. The general cultivator, I can't feel it at all, but with his perception, it is really true. This spirit race woman is still alive. Is it her own? Living is another spirit race. Great treasure can seal her in this secret place to treat her injury. For a moment, Wei Suo's heart is extremely shocking. Shua. His naked body, at this moment, suddenly froze. An unparalleled sacred breath suddenly burst out of the green crystal stone. The whole piece of green crystal stone seems to be completely recovered, completely bright. Two celestial lights instantly settled everyone, and two of the yellow quartz old antiques and the singularity of the female singer were full of shocking look. The beautiful woman in the green crystal stone opened her eyes. Just like a round of gods rising in this ancient temple, the whole space becomes sacred and fascinating. Wrapped in Wei Suo, everyone wants to quit this ancient temple for the first time, but this moment, inner chi, is pressing them without shapeshift great art. This is at least the pressure of true immortals' divine consciousness. Shua. Wei Suo felt that the feeling of water, swept his body in an instant. Today's meeting, I have already said hello in the last 2 days. I really didn't have shapeshift great art today. There is only one more, but this place is also the hidden treasure place of the most great treasure of the book. It just makes me slow down. I want to know how to show it to the great treasure. Path to Heaven. Author, Wu Ziyi. Chapter 1140. Chapter 1140. The fascinating cloud. 6 or 70,000 years ago. No great treasure, sister, are you spirit race or desolate race? A peerless inner chi is like a flood that fills the entire great treasure hall. Under the pressure of this peerless inner chi, Wei Suo seems to have been beaten back to the original shape. When he returned to the small rogue cultivator in Spirit Peak City, he couldn't help but scream in his heart. This peerless inner chi out there is too much. It is simply the difference between the moon and the fireflies. Yellow Quartz Sect 1000 hasn't researched a green crystal stone for many years. It has all turned into a circle of strange fluorescent, around the inner woman's around the body. A fear and confusion surrounds Wei Suo's, but at this moment, the most, it is a kind of heaven-shaking, killing intent and hostility. At this moment, the beautiful woman with the sun-like lustrous wings is scattered in the fairy light, watching Wei Suo, but the breath of this moment is to kill Wei Suo. Can't help but in the heart of the great treasure called, then Wei Suo certainly does not want to wait and see, ready to desperate. But all of a sudden, Wei Suo had the feeling that the other party was many times faster than he didn't know. A conscious of the treasure seemed to instantly read every thought in his mind. From the fairy beautiful woman, the fear, the fascinating scent that lingers in him, and the killing intent that kills everything, suddenly changed, the whole world, instantly softened. You are a funny person. I can't think of Ling Longtian. She is still alive, but unfortunately I don't have time. A woman's surging sound, like a fairy sound, suddenly remembered in Wei Suo's mind. She is still alive, a living true immortal level character. Is she actually smiling? At this time, the peerless inner chi disappeared, and there was no suppression of the elderly in Du Yang's female cultivator and 2 yellow quartz sects, while Du's beautiful woman and 2 old quartz of yellow quartz sect. The moment I came, it was even more shocking. Surrounded by a strip of fairy light, the beautiful woman has lived completely. Everything is refined, there is no smell of dust, and the whole world is connected into a naked body, flowing with unimaginable fairy charm. Let Du surname the old female cultivator and the 2 old quartz of yellow quartz sect are not consciously crouching. This is definitely a natural awe of the unimaginable achievements in the cultivation world, but at this moment Du surnamed beautiful woman and 2 old people of yellow quartz sect are also clearly seen. This very beautiful woman looks at Wei Suo, the mouth seems to be brought a smile. But in the next moment, the god of the beautiful woman's face was completely changed, and it became completely solemn, filled with a fairy who could not be swayed by anyone. Do you know Ling Longtian? Is this your own? This moment seems to be completely dominated by this very beautiful woman, which has become very long. The surging sound of the beautiful voice of Wuxian also makes Wei Suo hostile, but at this time, Wei Suo is unconscious. Ah, a surging sound, great treasure called, in his mind, a surging sound, like a huge wave, came in. At this moment, what happened? Wei Suo is completely ignorant. What am I crying for? When he was awake, Wei Suo was filled with tears in his own eyes. The sight in front of him is that he still can't say anything. A strip of green fairy light has passed through 9 days. The secret place is the deep secret place on the mountainside, but the green light of the fairy light is unobstructed. The beautiful woman, full of holy brilliance, her shapeshift great art and the naked body, including the vines that pierced her, all turned into a piece of brilliance, rising up, with a green fairy light disappeared into his sight. Hong. At this time, the only thing that poured into his mind like a tide, and the horse spread out in his mind. Don't the end result be defeated? Wei Suo has always been very calm and calm. The reason why primordial Yin old ancestor thinks he is a genius is because of this, but at this time he is suddenly a bit messy. As these things popped up in his mind, he understood why this very beautiful woman was in this secret place, why did the fearful confusion linger in his body when he revived, why he would now full of tears. What he has come out of his mind is a picture of some fragments, and 3 ancient scriptures. The pictures of these pieces are all fragmented heaven-shaking great treasure battles. Countless unimaginable restrictions of the ancient temple was beaten to no longer exist, the whole world is trembling, the void burst open countless war regiment, a piece of void in real fragmentation, countless strong great treasure shape-shift great art in the air bloom, many incomparable great treasure body and matchless great treasures shape-shift great art device stands between heaven and earth, a name far from his now imagined divine ability great treasure can fall. These fragmented pictures, where they are located, seem to be similar, and it was a battle of heaven shaking that was destroyed by the North and the Tang dynasty 6 or 70,000 years ago. Next, the battle group was separated, many people chased away, and many people withdrew. It was replaced by a wilderness party that Wei Suo had never been to, and a heaven-shaking great treasure battle. The number of people in this great treasure battle is much less, but it is extremely fierce, and the remaining people are less than 11. The final picture is that only a few divine lights are in the showdown. In the end, the divine lights are all extinguished. Myriad Immortals Mountain appears in the picture, followed by a dark, boundless silence. Although these pictures are fragmented, Wei Suo is clear and clear. This very beautiful woman is a member of the cultivation shaking great treasure that was not recorded in the cultivation world until the cultivation world of the North and the 77,000 years ago. This is a real God King and great treasure emperor level. The two sides are both devastating. It seems that both sides have a strongest set of great treasures. The remaining batch of great treasure can also be explosive. Open several battle groups. The beautiful woman is one of the most numerous battle groups. Although both sides are almost completely degraded, the final result is that the great treasure of desolate race and spirit race can be battled to have only this beautiful woman and one body. There are countless flames that are constantly being played, like a giant great treasure, and you can't see the desolate race great treasure. The deserty race great treasure was finally killed by the beautiful woman, but she was also hit by the final blow of the deserty race great treasure, fleeing into the Myriad Immortals Mountain, hurting herself, self-healing seal. These pictures are all the experience of this very beautiful woman, the lust seen in the eyes. Wei Suo is so clear because the beautiful woman, using some kind of strong great treasure, is like letting Wei Suo into her heart, just like letting Wei Suo through her eyes. It's such a sight. This is completely the intercourse stream of the two sides. Wei Suo is now inexplicable sorrow, tears in his eyes, because of this, although he and the very beautiful woman simply do not know each other, but only looked at these eyes, but only then, he and this beautiful woman they all entered the inner world of the other party completely. This is the most sincere perception of taking off any disguise. Although this is just a short moment, this perception and intercourse flow is to make this very beautiful woman and Wei Suo like the most sincere to intercourse. And this sadness, it is Wei Suo who knows that there is no shape-shift great art to save. This very beautiful woman waited for tens of thousands of years, but did not wait for any spirit race great treasure to come. Her fear and confusion is because perceived the breath of Wei Suo, it was the shape-shift great art of desolate race, who thought it was the people of deserty race who found her. But even if Wei Suo came, her injury was no longer saved by shape-shift great art, so she eventually turned into a fairy light and fell into the eyes of Wei Suo's. This is exactly like a good heart of both sides can be infinitely close to the intercourse. Hello, you also give me a chance to save you. And in front of this very beautiful woman, Wei Suo has a kind of change to himself, closer to his own source, without the need to face other cultivators, but also the feeling of pretending to be a gesture. His mood for a moment there was no shape-shift great art at all, calm and full of sadness, and could not help but sit down. What happened to this? The old man of the female cultivator and the two yellow court sect didn't know what was born, just saw the beautiful woman and the crystal green crystal stone. As the fairy light has disappeared, it's too unreal, just like a dream. People without shapeshift great art believe in their own eyes. But when I saw Wei Suo sitting down, the three did not dare to make any surging sound, just waiting for it. After sitting for a long time, Wei Suo broke away from this sadness and extreme state of mind, regained his calmness, and began to accept and consider what the very beautiful woman finally left for himself. This very beautiful woman has already reached the end of the exhaustion of the oil, only to leave him with so many things, no shapeshift great art all clear one by one. Now Wei Suo felt at first the feeling of the fragmented picture of these great treasure wars that had impacted the most great treasure. The feeling was clearer. The northern heaven-shaking battle, when the north was destroyed, the Xianli female cultivator also I don't know who wins or loses. Because several of the explosive treasures of the great team are completely dispersed, some of the most powerful great treasure can be played against each other. The battle group she is in is exactly the great treasure battle group with great treasure, and after playing bye-bye, there are some great treasures on the two sides to join, but in the end a great treasure battle, she fights the group only left her alone. But in the message that the beautiful woman left him, before they finally had a fierce confrontation, they had already received news that there was a battle group and their spirit race side had been completely defeated. And for the battle group of their secret place, at the time of the intercourse battle, there are several desolate race great treasures on the desolate race side that can be taken away after being hit hard, and may not necessarily fall. That is to say, this very beautiful woman, who did not know the heaven-shaking battle before the 67,000 years ago, the final result, but the news she knew at the time seemed to be the secret place of the spirit race. The disadvantage of great treasure.